Part 4, Solstice. The storm elemental lets the snowflakes and crystals float away. They dance in the air just within her view before disappearing. Without them, she feels bare, even with the ice covering her core. You're home. No one's here. She lets the ice melt away from her core. The wind picks up, whipping around the room, sending the raindrops out to speckle the walls. Soon enough, the spots will disappear, and the walls will be covered with a thin sheet of water streaming down. Lightning strikes within her core, lighting up her entire home with a hot blue glow. It's unruly, uncontrollable. She wants to fix everything, cover everything up, and forget this pointless endeavor. No, she can't let this path forward slip away just because she's uncomfortable. She sits in the room, letting the storm rage on, taking it in, rejecting the impulse to start fixing things, rejecting the impulse to enclose everything in ice. No, this isn't something that can be fixed with a few simple adjustments. This will be a more demanding project, a long, grueling project, and to complete it, she'll need a plan. And to have a plan, she needs to observe. Observe the way things are right now. Confront the way things are right now. It's not the worst part of her, but it's the part that frustrates her the most, so she decides taming her wind will be the first stage of the process. And the first step of this stage is to keep her wind light when she sheds the ice. It should be a simple first step, but she's not so sure how to go about it, so she begins the necessary trial and error. Some days, she spends a whole day preparing to shed the ice. Other days, she decides to do it on a whim. At first, she can't find any difference, but she keeps trying, keeps observing. If she plans to let the ice melt, she keeps track of what she does that day. Whether she's trying to stay calm or agitate herself, if she lets the ice melt at the end of the day, she notes whether it was a good day or a bad day. Either way, after the ice melts, she starts trying to control the winds, attempting to slow them down, change their direction, make them stop completely. As time goes on, she starts noticing trends. The winds are stronger when she's experiencing stronger emotions, whether that be sadness, anger, frustration, excitement, or happiness. It was a frustrating realization. She had been hoping the correlation was not about the intensity, but about the type of emotion. The more promising pattern she noticed was that, over time, the winds became a little calmer, regardless of the day. Eventually, what was once a calmer day becomes a more agitated one. The winds never truly become pleasant on intense days, but they become easier to manage. But she keeps practicing her control, even starting to style the gusts, trying to replicate some of her favorite ice styles. But they just don't quite work. Once the ice is sculpted, it doesn't change unless it melts. A few crystals and snowflakes float around, just enough for her to easily style. The wind is constantly moving. Focusing on each gust is impossible, so she styles it in currents. And it just doesn't work with her favorite ice styles. Take it slow, step by step. You can learn to style it later. She still makes attempts. She just stops when they go too poorly. Eventually, even if the wind blows on those intense days, she can tame it. Not control it completely, but tame it enough. It's not perfect, but it's progress. The next stage is working on the rain. She focuses on the temperature at first, remembering that moment in front of the glass display, remembering how other elementals always complain about cold storm elementals. She brings up the temperature, and it burns. The ice elemental flinches and lowers the temperature. She hates the heat. The other elementals don't like heat either. They want warmth, something pleasant. She just needs to find a middle ground. The progress on her temperature feels slower than the progress on controlling her wind. It's just because I'm trying to do both. During the first few attempts, all she can do is hit extremes, freezing cold or blisteringly hot. Eventually, she can make the rain warm, but she can't do it consistently, and she can't maintain the temperature. And throughout the first few attempts, she starts losing control of the wind. It makes her want to stop and focus on the wind, perfect it. Every time she feels that, she spends a day just focusing on the temperature. It will get easier, controlling the wind did, but you have to start even if you fail, especially if you fail. She needs to get out more. She was planning fewer events to focus on herself, but it seems the lack of light orbs is making her mad. She finally manages to keep the rain warm, and she hates it. Well, she doesn't hate it. She just doesn't love it the same way she did in that moment in the rain. She doesn't even like it. She hates that. She hates that her goal was pointless. She just needs to move on to the next step. She needs to work on controlling the rain. The storm elemental manages to get the rain to fall delicately, consistently. It was a similar process to the wind. She almost found it enjoyable. And she enjoys the results. She still doesn't like the temperature of the rain.